So recently, Wuthering Waves announced a ton of new collaborations coming to the game. Now, you've probably seen my last video on this. I talked about a couple of collaborations that Wuthering Waves are doing with some very popular companies like GS25, and also a whole store page which was being featured on Army. But this has nothing to do with this, as Wuthering Waves have actually announced even more collaborations with even more massive companies, which could help grow the game a ton more. I mean, some of these companies they work with are absolutely giant. They've worked with other big IPs, you know, such as a ton of anime IPs and other places like that, and which kind of proves how good Wuthering Waves and Kuro Games are actually networking out to some of these companies and actually working with them on collaborations. Because I think that's one thing that they've struggled on, is kind of working towards getting that kind of status of being able to get things out quickly and working with these bigger companies, which games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail do better, just because Hoyoverse is a more established company who has much more rapport with a lot of these other big companies. But it seems like Kuro Games are finally putting their foot down and working with a lot of these companies, so we're going to be going through all of these collaborations today, because there is quite a few of them. Now, some of these involve like trivial things like skins and stuff like that, which again is very exciting. I say skins, they're more like outfits to promote a collaboration, and some of them are actual like full-on game collabs, which could hint at a really cool future for Wuthering Waves. But before I get into this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and also go over to my Twitch, which is going to be down in the pinned comment down below or down in the description, where you can watch me live playing Wuthering Waves or just reacting to some Wuthering Waves content. Again, it's always a good time. We've got a really good community going over there, so I definitely recommend you go follow me, and that way you don't miss a live stream. You get a little notification, and yeah, you can pretty much join whenever I go live. But let's get back into the video. So the first post that I actually saw, and it kind of blew up all over Wuthering Waves Twitter, it's a collaboration between Wuthering Waves and China National Geographic. Which, if you don't know, China National Geographic is pretty much a, geographic kind of company. They focus on a lot of stuff to do with animals, wildlife, stuff like that. You've probably seen it around, obviously, in like America or the UK. We've got the National Geographic channel, stuff like that, and it's pretty much like that, but kind of like the Chinese version of it. And again, they've done a collaboration, which they often do quite a bit, and we've even seen, over in the UK and the US, them doing collaborations with people like Genshin and stuff like that, where they pretty much have these mascots of characters, and with this comes even more new skins, with the first one being Jian. Now obviously Jian absolutely looks amazing there. I really like this overall design. He's got a cool coat on and stuff like that, which, is kind of different, but it's not too much different to the point where he's like unrecognizable, which I think is really cool. And that's what they've done with a lot of these skins. Now, I don't really know how they fit in with the overall, theme of the National Geographic and China's landscape and stuff like that. Again, it doesn't look very traditional or anything like that. It is really cool to see they've implemented this kind of like joint culture, but also like futuristic design on pretty much all of these characters. Because if we go to the next one, we've got Jinshi here, who looks like she's wearing some kind of uniform thing, which again, I think is great, and I really hope that Kuro Games does add some of these as skins, because, yeah, they look good. Then we got to Genshin here, again, looking really cool with a camera and stuff like that. And finally, we've got Ling Yang as well, who I actually think looks the coolest. They've actually cooked with something like the big puffy coat and the phone and stuff like that. I definitely think he looks the most unique, which is cool to see. And again, it is very exciting to see that they're working with some of these massive companies, as, I don't think anything gets bigger than the National Geographic. Maybe there's a couple of companies, but again, I definitely think this is a very good leg up for Wuthering Waves, and it proves that they are kind of, approved by the Chinese government and stuff like that. Because I'm pretty sure that the China National Geographic is actually state kind of controlled or something like that. So it is good to see that, they are in their good books, and that there aren't going to be any issues in terms of like law and stuff like that, which we have seen with a lot of gacha games in the past. And obviously everyone in the comments was asking for these to be, turned into skins and stuff, which again, I completely agree with. I think a lot of these will be really cool to play in game. And also this account started like freaking out over the Jian skin, pretty much naming everything that they liked about the skin, as you can see by all the circles here. They enjoyed the fact that there's like a little pin badge there. They've kept his earring things, which kind of look like his old design, which is very cool. And also they pointed out one vein on his arm, which, that's a very small detail to be pointing out. But yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, then great for you. And I think a lot of Jian fans are eating very good with that. And this isn't the first time that the National Geographic has worked with other gacha games. They've worked in the past with games like Arc Knights and other games like that, which again, they've done some really cool collabs here. Now, these ones I definitely think fit a little bit better with a lot of the whole National Geographic stuff. Obviously, it's kind of like foresty kind of style. And again, they kind of like mix up between different places. This one seems like a more Asian kind of area, whatever that is. And again, it is really cool to see that they are working with some of these companies, because it does bring a lot more legitimacy to all gacha games, not just Wuthering Waves, but other gacha games as well, who may not have that kind of choice or may not have that kind of popularity to actually have these kind of collaborations. And then we move on to another collaboration with Raku Spa. Now, I think this is a Japanese company. Obviously, Raku Spa sounds like what you expect it to be. It's a company that pretty much has a spa area. Now, I'm pretty sure this is in Japan. Obviously, I saw this was like advertised in a lot of Japanese cities and stuff. But as you can see, they've got these massive baths and stuff like that where people can go to. And they've just got some really, really cool places. But also, they've actually worked so much with a lot of other anime and also, other gacha games and stuff like that, including Jujutsu Kaisen being one of them, which I think is great, and now Wuthering Waves is going to be included on that list. Now, they did give us a tiny little bit of a sneak peek of what the skins would look like. Obviously, you can expect that a lot of the clothes would be kind of casual, there might be a few towels involved, just like we saw with the Jujutsu Kaisen stuff and stuff like that. You can see, they're wearing kind of casual clothing, things like that, so maybe we'll see those kind of skins come to the game as well. We don't really know, and this kind of begs the question. A lot of people have been asking, well, with all of these announcements coming out, because we've had about like 6 in the past like couple weeks, when are we actually going to see these in game? Because it's great and all seeing a lot of these coming to collaborations and them just being featured on some art, but it would be really nice to see some of these cool designs actually coming into the game and being implemented for people to play. And I definitely think this will be something that will come after version 2.0 maybe, or even as soon as version 1.4. Because again, people have been asking for this a ton, and Kuro Games aren't stupid. Let's just realize this. They've seen a lot of the comments underneath these collaborations of people asking for them to be skins, and as we know, Kuro Games do like to listen to what the audience thinks, and I think that in the future we will see some kind of skin coming out in the future. Whether it's going to be any of the ones that we've seen on the collaboration, I don't know, but it would be really nice to see a kind of variation in characters and kind of seeing a whole kind of skin culture coming to the game. Because again, I don't want it to be like Genshin Impact, where it's like, oh, we have a skin every half a year or something like that, where it's very, very rare. I do think they should follow in the footsteps of their other games like PGR, and also other games outside of Kuro Games, like Azur Lane, Nikkei, other places like that, who release skins pretty regularly, where it's kind of a common thing, and I think that would be very cool to add to Wuthering Waves, and give a certain aspect to it, and also give them just a bit of revenue, to kind of improve their revenue stream in the future. Because if you think about Azur Lane and games like that, the main money that they make is off of skins. If you've ever played the game, they're extremely free-to-play friendly. Like, you can pull every single day, you can get like a couple of free pulls every day. They've got some really cool events, especially on at the moment, and you think, well, if they're this generous, how are they making money? Well, it's because they got hundreds of skins which you can buy, and they're all around about like $20, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, and people buy them because, again, they've been playing free to play, and they're like, okay, well, I haven't spent money on the game, so I might as well spend one on like a skin or something. And also the skins just look really nice. So again, Wuthering Waves could do something similar, where they could kind of get a skin, where they could kind of sell a lot of these skins and people would actually buy them. I definitely think there'll be many dedicated people, especially to certain characters, that are going to buy every single skin for them. And then finally, speaking about other games and stuff like that, we also got an announcement for Punishing Grey Raven actually collabing with Devil May Cry 5. Now, this might not seem very big as a Wuthering Waves fan, but I definitely think it is huge in terms of Kuro Games and what they can bring in the future, as Punishing Grey Raven is one of the other gacha games that, Kuro Games have bought out. So this kind of hints that they do have these kind of contacts with some of these big games and some of these big kind of brands. One of them being Devil May Cry, which is a very, very popular video game series. And we're going to be seeing some sort of collaboration coming out in the future. Now, I don't know if that's going to be part of a game or whatever. They just kind of announced that the collaboration was happening. But it is also pretty big for Wuthering Waves as well, because it means that, they do have the ability to work with these big companies that could also come into Wuthering Waves, which, if you've seen by revenue standards and by popularity, they're doing much better than Punishing Grey Raven. Now, obviously, Punishing Grey Raven is still a great game, and it's been out for a while, so it's much more established. And I totally see why they've chose Devil May Cry for Punishing Grey Raven, because it definitely fits the style a ton more. But in the future, hopefully we can see some other video games, or maybe anime, or maybe some other kind of really cool stuff in the overall kind of media sphere, kind of interacting with Wuthering Waves and bringing their stuff over to the game. Now, I think it would be cool to have it in kind of like a form of event. I don't think anything permanent should be added, like a character. I definitely think it would take out from some of the actual lore of the story and just the overall scenery that, Kuro Games has set out. But I think if we do a cool, like, quick event, or maybe even a couple skins or something like that, similar to whatever game it is collaborating with or whatever anime it's collaborating with, it would be really cool to see that. So hopefully we do hear some news on maybe something to do with Wuthering Waves in the future. But it is really good that Punisher and Grow Raven is getting their collaboration, and hopefully we can see, you know, more news on that very, very soon. But yeah, that is every single collaboration that is coming to Wuthering Waves at the moment. Obviously, if you want to look at the other ones, that'll be on my previous video that I talked about collaborations. But yeah, there is a ton there, and a lot of them are to do with outfits and skins and stuff, which again, I think a lot of people would really like to see in the game. So Kuro Games, if you're listening, please add these to the game. We're all asking you to. And yeah, overall, really cool. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Which one is your favorite event? And you know, what kind you wait to see in the game, if it is even coming to the game. And yeah, just let me know what you guys think. But yeah, that's about all I got for this video. If you did enjoy it, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And as I said, also go over to my Twitch where I'm going to be streaming live. That'll be down in the pinned comment down below or the description below. And also finally, check out Gamer Subs where you can actually use my code CASA to get 10% off. They got a really cool Halloween event going on at the moment. I definitely recommend checking it out. They've got a ton of really cool like merch. And also, you know, cups as usual. And also they got some other stuff. We can get some free like snack stuff with one of the cups. So again, I definitely recommend checking it out. It'll be down in the description below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.